Good morning, everybody. This is Richard back at you. We got Miss Teresa on the phone. Annie's in the house hanging out. We couldn't get her to come out. Well, guys, normally things come in 3, but this isn't something you want to come into 3. 2 SS TrailBlazers. If you've ever worked on SS TrailBlazers before, you'll know why you don't want them to come in 3s, because to get these trannies out, they're all-wheel drives and they are just tight fitted in there. So we got 2 of them to work on. This one here is a supercharged one. You can check this out here. This has actually got an aftermarket blower on it. This one here, we're having tranny overheating issues. We're having engine overheating issues. Ever since they put the water radiator for the blower, because the blower has water and a pump that pumps water through the blower to keep it cool, separate from the radiator. So they actually put a radiator up in front. Put electric fans in a shroud, but now we're having heating issues like crazy. Tranny's running hot, motor's running hot. We put a different thermostat. It just drives by the 160 like it's not even in there. So we definitely got to do some changing around on the nose of this thing to get it to run and cool again. So, well, anyway, then we got this one over here that's never been touched, all original. He towed a trailer to the mountains, and on the way back, he started having issues with it. So overheating, the tranny getting really hot. You smell the fluid on it. I mean, it is smoked. But 2 at one time, guys, can you believe it?
He's a glutton for punishment.
Glutton for punishment. These are really cool, though. They got Corvette suspension. They got Corvette steering that slows down the faster you go. Really neat vehicles. When you get in them and drive them, they feel really small. And they're really powerful, so they feel really fun to drive.
We used to have one.
We had a really nice one that we should have never got rid of, huh, Teresa?
Silver one, yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, it had all stainless exhaust. I think like an 80-year-old man bought this thing brand new and basically did every bolt on it that you could do for one of them. It really run good. We pulled the tranny out and put like a 2800 stall converter in it, helped it out a ton.
Had a brand new, well, not brand new, but it wasn't not even a year old Jasper's engine in that thing. So.
Yeah, so they already blew the motor up in the one that we had, and they put a Jasper's remanufactured motor in it that run really nice too.
Yeah.
So anyway, I like this because they got the SS cover, they got performance division on the cover that goes on top of the motor. Yeah. Really neat.
Everything SS on it, it's pretty cool.
So we're going to be getting this out first, getting it on the bench, turn it down, see what happened to this. Our parts come in from Tranny this morning, everything but the wide band. I hate it. I was hoping to get it built Sunday, but maybe the band will come in later on today and we can go ahead and get it put back together this weekend. But we want to thank Miss Teresa for recording. And guys, we'll get this out, not real quick, but it takes probably about 3 hours or so to get it out. And I'll use just about every tool in my toolbox to get it out.
And then he'll have to hunt them down so we can do another teardown video.
There you go. I got 2 10mm now. I can't lose both at the same time, right?
There you go.
Well, thank you again, Teresa, for recording. Guys, hang on. We'll have a video coming shortly on the teardown. Have a great day. Well, we got our 4L60E out, late model, out of our SS TrailBlazer. We actually thought that we didn't do this unit, but we actually did this unit like 2 or 3 years ago. So at the first of the video, I thought it has never been touched. What I meant by was blower, nitrous, any type of performance things like that. But come to find out, we actually did this unit about 2 or 3 years ago, and everything's been working flawless. The gentleman did his service on time, everything like that. He went to the mountains. On the way back, he started having problems. But look who's in the house today. Annie's out. Oh, she wouldn't come yesterday. She was being a little girl, huh? Now she's being a good little puppy, huh? She's just so beautiful.
I'm still a little girl.
But,
I just wanted to be with you.
Yeah, definitely. But we ended up finding a problem. Like I said, we very seldom ever have a comeback on any of our units. When they leave here, we're done with them. But something happened that we could not believe. Come here and check this out.
And did he know this?
No, he did not know that it ended up running low on fluid. But if you look here, we have a hole knocked into the bottom of the cooler right here. It doesn't look like anything hit here, like a curb or bump stop or anything like that. It must have picked up a rock up in the mountains or something and come up and hit the cooler. I come in yesterday morning and there was fluid on the floor. And you can see here where the cooler is physically damaged.
Golly,
so we're going to have to try to find a cooler or get this one off and see if it's repairable. But we're going to get the tranny apart and just see what type of damage that we did to this nice unit. Because when we build these, we put everything in these units to make sure that they stay out. Especially being an SS TrailBlazer, they're a high performance unit to start with. So, you know, this thing probably could make 350, 400 horsepower just factory. Put a chip on it or anything can even make, you know, that much more. So anyway, we're going to get this apart real quick and see just what this thing looks like.
And you said the fluid was bad, huh?
The fluid is very bad. I've already pulled the bell housing off because a lot of times these bolts here are really hard to get out of the bell housing, and I end up stripping them and having to stop the video and stuff. But we do have a B&I converter in here, TMBX. Being that the fluid is so contaminated, you can see here, we're going to have to put another converter in. There's no way to flush this unit, so it's physically just going to have to be replaced. So, and this one here does have a smell, guys. Let me tell you this. So he cooked it pretty good, whatever he tore up inside. So
I should have worn my poncho.
Yeah, maybe. Hopefully I won't splash you, Teresa.
We're not checking anything. We already know it's toast.
It's toast. Yeah, I dropped the pan, and the pan was not very beautiful inside, so didn't forget my tin, but I forgot my pliers. Now he did pull a trailer. I don't know what size trailer he pulled up to the mountains, what was on it or anything like that. And we do have our 4th gear servo cover and piston that applies the band in overdrive. And then we have our Corvette servo here that applies the band in 2nd gear. Yes.
Yeah, it looks
Mm-hmm. We have our cooler lines here. We have clips that go in here. That's our cooler lines clip in. And then we have a little retainer that slides over the clips. If you don't put that retainer to hold the clips in, the cooler line will blow out. So you have to have the retainer to slide over these, okay? If the cooler line is missing the retainer, we've actually taken tie straps and wrapped around this and tightened it down and clipped the tie strap off. But you have to hold that clip in there. If you notice here, we have a brown and gray connector. This is considered a late model color here. This is going to have an input speed sensor inside the transmission. I did notice this here too, I don't like. I see this right here. This is kind of weird. I don't understand that. It's like the converter could have been rubbing something. I'm going to look in there and see if I could see anything that might have fell down. A bearing's come down. But everything shows to be there, so I really don't know where that comes from.
A rock can't get in there.
No, I mean this is nothing bad or anything like that. It's not going to break or anything. It's just it looks like something rubbed there before. You know, it could have been from the other converter. This isn't something you're going to throw the stator away just because of those markings on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not something you're going to throw it away. I just seen that, and that could have been there from before.
Yeah.
Messed my whole table up now. But
Oh, good.
now you can see what that looks like. It's got tons of metal. This is the filter. See all the metal just oozing out of there. Look at that. So you can see here, this is our connector for our input speed sensor. This is probably one of the worst designs GM did too. For one, they covered the boost valve right here. You cannot get to this boost valve no more to change it. Sometimes if we put a 500 boost valve in these, we got way too much pressure and we want to pull the boost valve out. There's no way to do it without pulling the tranny and pulling the pump out. On the earlier versions, this sensor wasn't there, and you could just pop that snap ring out, change the plug or the boost valve to whatever size you wanted to put in there. But GM decided to make it a mess out of something that was good. I'm gonna try, if I could figure out some way to run those wires out of there and put me a plug out here to where I could plug this in out here. If somebody would design that, that would probably sell like crazy, because being able to get to those boost valves is pretty critical, especially when you build a lot of them like I do and you put pressure gauges on them and you see something that you don't like or you can't control. You're not going to be tuning with HP tuner to take that line pressure out of there. So the only way to do it is to change the boost valve. So we got our PWM solenoid here, pulse width modulating for lockup, and then we have our 3-2 downshift solenoid, and we physically have our lockup solenoid here. We have our pressure control solenoid here, and then we have our 2 shift solenoids here. We also have our pillow switch here. This tells the computer what gear it's in, and we also have our temperature sensor right here in the pan. This other SS TrailBlazer we just did, we're doing HB tuning and stuff on it, and for some reason with 2 different laptops we cannot read the temp sensor, but if I hook my snap-on scanner to it I can read it real well. And also we decided to go ahead and put a gauge in the dash to monitor transmission temperature that plugs into the OBD2 port, and it reads it fine too. So I don't know why our HP tuners, our laptops will not read that. Do not know why. A detent linkage. Now, just saying, if you don't have to change your harness or anything like that, but you got to change your solenoid, Fitsall does make a solenoid. You can clip these wires and wire a new solenoid in here from Fitsall. These are cleanable. You take this cover off and get all the metal out of here if you have to repair any of your seals. Now these are little micro switches. These actually have a little click to them every time you push them. Just a little click. But you can change these seals out here if they're bad or anything like that. Clean this up, put this back together. The earlier designs didn't have this cover, so a lot of metal settled in here and shorted that out right there. Of course, you know the valve body is going to be contaminated like crazy. Now this lockup valve should already be blocked where it's a non-PWM from us doing it before. Have your forward accumulator in here. Then you have your intermediate accumulator here. Should I test something with air this time, Teresa?
No.
No? That was a big old squirt of fluid, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So you always want to Scotch-Brite your surface up here and here. That way your new piston slides real freely through the bore. If you don't do that, this will actually jump. It'll kind of like a squeegee going across a dry window. It'll do the exact same thing. That's why you always want to Scotch-Brite that up. That way that slides smoothly. Because if it doesn't, it's really going to make second gear feel funny. Slide bumps, all kinds of stuff after a rebuild when you go to second gear. Understood this unit got very hot, which I could imagine it did running low on fluid. Of course, you got your valve body gaskets. The top one says VB for valve body. This one here says C for case, CA for case. So you don't want to get them mixed up or it will not work. They say if you're putting a shift kit in here, there's going to be some modifications to some holes and stuff on this plate. So we always grab the parking pawl down in here, hold it down, turn the output shaft. That parking lever will fall down. Now you can get to that bolt. You're going to have to do the same thing putting it in. If not, you'll cross thread that bolt. It'll go in crooked every time. We have our 4th gear accumulator here. This is the one that I double stack. Got your pin here. Now sometimes I'll put 350 pump washers work really good right here to space this upward. The rubber, you can put 3 of them in here. Stack it up to where it's flush. You see I did a washer. But 350 pump washers work very well for that, to stack that. You do not want it above flush. You want it flush as can be. Stick it in there, run a straight edge across there to make sure it's below. And it don't have to be exact, but it does not need to come intruding out of the hole. We always put some sealant around our connector right here. Anytime, even though this was a brand new harness, we still silicone them in, put them in there, let it dry. Even though when you push the connector in, you get guys that got man hands that just try to shove the connector back through the case even though you have clips. So I always glue that in right there.
Ooh, you need squeegee. That looks
Gotta get my
so
check balls
thick.
out of there. You know, we started weighing our check balls and stuff and trying to slow check ball speed down with metal check balls instead of these check balls here. If you notice, these I'd have to get the paper on showing what that check ball weighs compared to that ball. But you got to figure if fluid's got to lift this ball up and plug a hole like that hole right there, it's going to lift it up faster than it's going to lift this metal one up. So with the metal ball, we feel like we can get a faster charge to the circuit before this seals off and slows it down through this little tiny hole, where this plastic ball is going to lift a lot easier and plug that off sooner and slow the fluid going down to the piston. So we've been working on this. For one reason is we added a bigger 3/4 piston to the FI drum, billet drum that they're making. So we're trying to control fluid going to that piston. A 25% bigger piston, so we needed about 25% more fluid to go through this hole to get to that piston to make sure we ain't the fluid isn't getting there fast enough to fill the circuit up since we made it bigger. If you leave the hole the same size, you're going to have a soft shift because you got a bigger area to fill up with a small hole. So you got to make the hole bigger to fill the bigger circuit up. So that's what we're trying to figure out on that to get that down 100% right, because the drum is going to be a big hit when it comes out from FI transmissions. Of course, we always double seal our bolts, even though we put washers, new O-rings on them. We always put double sealing. I don't care what people say, but there's always going to be fluid coming out of these bolt holes right here when you pull them bolts out. These not so much, but guaranteed through here. And you look here, this is our input speed sensor I was talking about, how they added that and then put the plug over the boost valve right here. Worst design they could have ever done. So if we could come up with something that'll go run the wiring, I don't know if you could get it through here, it's just as long as you could get that out of there, but this right here is not going to cut it. I'm going to come up with some way to fix that problem, because this was junk right there when they did that. And all they're doing is counting this right here on this input shaft right here. They do it to drop tranny pressure at idling gear, stuff like that. Try to save fuel mileage sitting there at idling out of light is basically what they're doing. But you got to have it. Now I think in HB tuning, I think you can delete that. And some of the units actually have a plug here. They don't even have a wiring harness. They just have a plug bolted there. They still have the shaft and everything, but they're not counting it because it's the next year version that they're trying to build. So, oh, the pump's wiped out. My gosh, it just wiped that late model pump plumb out. Wipe that out too. Man, that's terrible. All that metal.
So where'd the metal come from though?
It's gonna be in here. Yeah, this tranny's in bad shape. Worse than I thought it was gonna be. Get out of there, come on. We have our pump slide. Which you can see all the metal gets in there. There's so much metal. The filter just couldn't keep it all out. It got in here and the pump watered it all up. We have our pump pivot pin, our pump spring that sits down in here to keep the pivot pin up flush. If you leave it out, it'll drop down 1/4 of an inch below flush right here. So you don't want that. So we're definitely looking at a complete pump. You can see there the ruts in it. The ruts along here. Let me pull that boost valve out of there. I think I get that out. Like I said, a lot of these right here, we won't even put a 500 boost valve in, but for the fact that you can't get it out when you put it in there. And with the 500 boost valve, you can have more pressure than you want if you can't HP tune it out. Factory boost valve, 4 lands. See these rings? They have a 4, 2, a 1. So this is the biggest one that they offer from the factory. And you do have an inner spring. I noticed a video the other day, the guy was freaking out because he didn't have that inner spring, and you have to have that inner spring. So, a totally wiped out pump. This is our new hard seal. There's no O-ring around the pump body no more. They got away with it. I got away from it and then added the hard ring seal. And then, let me see if I can get this down. There we go. What I like to do is get the band knocked out of the strut that holds the band. Once you get that out like that, then you can pull this drum out. But if you try to pull this drum out with that in there, this band gets hooked on this ledge right there, and you cannot pull the drums out. So knock it out of that and you'll be good. But you can see the beautiful wide band we put in there is just totally smoked. This drum right here, totally smoked. Here's a brand new one that I ordered already because I knew what we'd be needing.
You can tell this has got a dip in it.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's probably.
Oh, you can see it.
Yeah, I don't have my gauge over here no more with me. Yeah, you can take a big like this and shine through there.
Yeah, you can see it.
Watch this, Teresa. See how bold that is?
Oh, I know.
See? Yeah, you want to check that on every one when you pull them out. Even if they look good, you want to check that. So this drum is toast. This is our reverse clutches in the drum, but our overdrive and second gear band goes around this. Of course, the reverse clutches and steels look like they've never been used. Brand new there. Drum's trashed, but we can use the piston and the spring and the snap ring out of there. And of course we have our input shaft here with our reluctor right here that the input speed sensor counts. Basically this sets on there like that, and it counts it to that little hole down in here. You have a bearing here. You have a selective thrust washer right here that sets your clearances right there. And then of course we're going to get in here to our Z-pack. Now you can tell here that look how hot this sun gear got. The bushings turned purple when this thing started slowly running out of fluid. It's sad to put something together so beautiful and then something so minor take it out. There's our Z-pack.
Not good.
Smoked it. Nothing left. Terrible. We have our load springs, which they're starting to look a little short. Like I said, they stick out pretty far, but you just want to make sure they all match and put them in there. And you have your apply plate and your first clutch with no clutch on the back goes against it like that. And then it's sad to do so many of these and put a lot of pride and effort into them to make them 100%. Oh my gosh, we're in trouble down there. I've seen all that.
What'd you say?
I said, oh my gosh, I looked down there and seen trouble. Okay, we have our engine brake clutch and our forward clutch that moves the vehicle forward. It's still all intact. Looks like he's did a little bit of manual shifting. You can see some hot spots in here. And then here we have our sun gear. Purple, see the bushings purple. Let's see what the forward sprag assembly looks like. And there looks good. Want to Scotch-Brite this up, of course, when you put a new sprag in there. You want to look here for any scarring or any chatter marks where the sprag tried to lock. Now you can, let me get my small persuader over here real quick if I can find it. Where'd it go? I said my tools are everywhere. I've been going from one side of the shop to the other. And I don't know, I have to find it. Thought it was in here. There it is. But you could take just a small hammer and kind of tap on that just a little bit. That'll pop right out. That way you can reuse this again. You see the fingers right there that hold it in this groove that clips that on there. But once that sun gear has been purple like that, the tempered of it is no good, so you definitely want to replace it. So let's get down in here a little bit farther and just see how bad this can be. Now you remember, since this unit is an SS TrailBlazer, it's considered a high performance vehicle, just like your Cadillac Escalades. They're going to have 5 pinion planets in them. So we've got some 5 pinion planets down in here that do not look healthy.
No, it looks purple.
Yep, that's sad. I'll get this snap ring out of there. Come on.
Today's really nice. That's why we got the door open. So beautiful.
Mm-hmm. If I can get this out of here, it's purple. That snap ring don't look. Nothing's easy when they've been in hot and melted. Come on, get out of there. Where'd you go? I see the opening, but I can't get in the groove.
Need my glasses?
I might need your glasses, Teresa. Come on. Sorry guys, it's just some of these are bare. If I got my other pair in here, I said my tools are scattered. This one's bent is what's going on. Just a little bit. You don't think I abuse it, do you?
Like you are now?
Yeah. Trying to get it straight. This is all purple down in here, so hopefully I can get this out and apart. Wow. There we go. I say the new ones come in kits, so you can destroy them if you want to.
It's it. Just throw it down there. Oh, goodness gracious.
Okay, guys, you want to see expensive stuff tore up? This is it. Totally purple. Look at that planet.
Yeah.
My gosh, just destroyed that beautiful 5-pinion planet. And then we have our roller bearing clutch hub here. That's wiped out through here where the sun gear bushing runs. And bearing here, look at that bearing. It's about as purple as it gets. Anytime your planet's bad, you know you're going to have to look at your ring gear and make sure there's no weird patterns on these teeth right here. So basically, all that right there is going to have to be replaced in one piece there. We have our hardened shell, and we have our plastic thrust washer in the bottom. You can see it's all melted out, and oh my gosh. This is your lower sun gear to your rear planet. You can see how purple it's gotten too, but that runs on there like that. And I don't think anybody wants to look down in here any further. We have our anti-clunk spring. We have our rear support in the back here with our Sprag roller clutch. You can see how it turned it the inner race purple. Wiped all that out. And of course we're going to get down in here and we're going to look at our 5-pinion planet.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Smoked it. 5-pinion planets. That's what I tell these people. When we get these in here, if these 5-pinion planets are messed up, you can go back with a 4-pinion and probably be fine. But you know, the cost of 5 pinions all the way through is very expensive. Of course, you have your ring gear you want to look at. You know, if your gears are bad here, this ring gear is going to be bad. It doesn't mean that this hub on the back is bad though. This could all be good. Mainly you want to look here where your bushing runs. Make sure that's good. Make sure it ain't messed up through here where it's been walking inside the ring gear. But you know, the Planetary ring gear, complete Planetary ring gear here, drums, pump, converter. I mean, this unit basically, it's going to take a lot to fix it, more than I got over here on the table. And we've got, you know, I kind of guess at stuff, you know. We got our clutches, our bonded pistons, our gaskets, our new steels, our Sprag, our EPC, our complete pump kit, Z-Pack, new drum. But we need a complete set of planets, a complete pump, which is going to be expensive. So this right here is really going to drive the cost of this unit up. And right here is a ton of money, guys, believe it or not. And we don't patch, so we ain't going to put 4-pinion planets back in that vehicle. It's going to be back the way it was supposed to be. We don't patch, we don't do it wrong here, 100%. We do it right. So, but I hate to see something so tiny as a small leak like that, a rock coming up and hitting the cooler and knocking a hole in it. And that's going to be a slow leak. And that's the worst kind you can get, because if you knock a hole in the pan, it's going to dump it out so fast it probably won't even hurt the tranny. But when you do a tiny leak like that, where it's just a little trinkle slowly, and next thing you know, the guy's going down the highway and he don't even know he's losing it slowly, and this is what happens right here. So, well, anyway, got my job cut out for me on this one, huh, Teresa? 1, 2. Oh my gosh. We want to thank Miss Teresa for recording. We want to thank Sonex. We want to thank Transgo. We want to thank Annie for all the support that we get out here. O'Reilly's is helping us out a ton on Dirty Bird, and let me tell you, O'Reilly's has been a really big help to us coming out to our shop and delivering us all of our parts. TranStar, we can't say enough about TranStar. I mean, I'm laying in bed at 7 o'clock in the morning and my doorbell goes off because they're dropping my parts off and I'm still in bed. So cheers to them guys, they really take care of us.
But we also want to say, you know, prayers for everybody down there in Tennessee, North Carolina. You know, been talking to a guy down there. The roads that are missing, the town that's missing. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, right? And it's still raining, and it's not going to get better soon.
Several years of repair down there. I-40 is gone.
Eastbound lane,
I mean, just everything
Tennessee,
you could imagine.
And you guys know if y'all are
you've been watching the news and stuff.
Prayers to all you guys, because we've been watching and we're fixing to take a trip there.
Definitely.
So
anyway, we want to get back to, don't forget to subscribe, push the notification bell. Go check out our merch store. It's not much, but it does help us get through the days. And Annie, we just love her to death. Y'all have a fabulous day.
Thank you.